I have no idea for an intro, so this is gonna be my intro. We're gonna talk about Blasphemous and some old games, pixelated. Yeah, I'm that creative. Anyways, you are the penitent one. Just imagine being the Doom guy from Doom, and instead of having guns, you just have a badass sword and abilities to abuse. You start off by getting up from thousands of padres that look like you, and you start by learning the basics of the movement, like jump, how to dash, how to grab on edges, how to get up a ladder and jump down from the floor, all those basic stuff. And you get to a point when you can save, like checkpoints, little churches, shrines. And then right in the next room, you're like, hey, it's a boss fight, here you go. Yeah, I know. Start the boss fight, very interesting. The enemies are pretty simple. You can dodge and parry the stuff. Some attacks you can't parry, you just have to jump or dash. Anyways, you have to dodge. And when you get to the first town, you're introduced to NPCs, and there's a lot of NPCs to help fetch. You have like the church guy that requires you to collect body parts of his wife, girlfriend, I forgot, because she wasn't buried properly. There's a side quest to help the people of the town to get some food so they can survive. There's also like a really freaky side quest to help a guy that was embedded in a tree because he's gonna turn in a tree and you need to give him a sap so it eases the pain, like in alcohol or something, so he does not feel the pain in the cold and he can die peacefully, which is pretty but yeah. And yeah, that's the whole premise of Blasphemous. The whole premise is that its setting is like in heavy Christianity world, and some enemies look like they're from biblical integration, like biblical angels and all that kind of stuff. Really disturbing, at the same time pretty cool. For me. Also, the whole thing about sin, forgiveness, and it's like the God really does exist, and your sins and your actions and everything you do really reflects on you. Some people will become the beasts that are not controlled by rage. Someone have ascended more than human, and so on. You can see about all the stuff. And if you want to learn about all the lore, you can read all the items you get, because every item you get the lore of it. You can also talk to the dead bodies. You will get a chance to talk to dead bodies because you have a chance to talk to the soul of the dead body, and you can learn about all the cool stuff. And there's one of my favorite moments in the game, because you can pet a dog. Bro, you can pet a dog. Look at him, he's so adorable, he's so cute. Too bad there is not an achievement to pet him, and I think this is the only time you get to pet him. So let's get back to the game and leave the dog alone. You can also collect a lot of parts from a lot of beings, and you can put him in this room, and when you collect all of them you unlock the skin you can equip to yourself. And yes, you have skins, but they are all unlockable. And I collect them all because I know there's a door here and they won't show you. There are different kinds of enemies, and the most annoying ones of course are the flying ones, especially until you get to the fire missile, but still some of them are pretty annoying because they don't care about platforms. They just cross to the walls and they can hit you. It's pretty damn annoying, I must say. Few of them enemies are pretty simple. The panthers are simple, they have one attack and that's pretty much it. But they do get annoying, especially the flying ones. It's also a good thing about combat is that when you get damaged, you have a short brief time where you're untargetable and just invincible. But if someone can correctly time their attack, like one boss especially, I hate that boss, I'll talk about it. boss, he can keep you in that state for too long. He can just continuously deal damage to you and you just can't do anything. But yeah, most of the enemies cannot continuously damage you unless they're like two that have specific pattern, but that's a rare case and you can probably deal with them before they do the combo. But yeah, that's about it about the combat. You also can upgrade your sword to get more damage, and you can use the artifacts and all items you collect to increase your damage, or increase the you mostly increase the resistance and the damage rate. You have to find those shrines, you have to pray for them, and like yeah, they will give you the increased attack boost, and you can unlock the cool combos and moves, which are pretty cool actually. My favorite is that slide plus stab, because it deals like the most amount of damage and you can easily one-shot most of the heavier enemies. The first stage of the game, you just have to collect the 3 holy artifacts to enter the big city, and before you collect all the 3 artifacts you have to defeat 3 bosses, and actually all 3 of them are pretty easy. There's one that's annoying because all the platform is like rising and there's fire beneath it. If you fall, you die. But hey, if you get a pattern, it's pretty easy. The bosses are pretty easy actually. Once you get to them, you'll die like once, twice, sometimes 3 times, because they have a second phase. Of course, they have a second phase, but they're not that hard. There is a lot of secrets in Blasphemous. Honestly, it took me a while on the first run to find all of the rooms, all the secrets, and most of the secrets are pretty cool. And I did some stuff without items or abilities that I had to have. It was like pretty hard, but I pixel perfectly did it, even though I didn't have the items, or I find some alternative ways to do it. There's some places you can do it even though you don't have the specific items, because there's like a second way to do it. But most of the hard secrets, you have to have those abilities and items in order to succeed. And most of the NPCs I found are really good to talk about. And I'm gonna talk about later about the DLC NPCs and the DLC bosses and everything that's added, because on the first one you can't access that for some reason, but I'm not mad. Once you help all the NPCs doing the side quest, you have a chance to do in certain orders and certain encounters can happen. For example, you can just, what I did, accidentally kill one woman, put her out of misery because you have a choice, and the worshipper of that lady will try to kill himself, and you have to pursue him not to kill himself. But if you actually help the lady and give her peace and make her ascend, he will be like, oh, I don't know what to do, and you will tell him like there's more people that needs your prayers and your teaching, and he will go to the local church you can go to, and he will teach there, which is pretty cool. You can let him die, and that's like a bad ending, but also you have a secret encounter that I'm planning to do. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it, but I think I figured it out. Anyways, the church is also very, very important, and I found out about that when I finished the first run, accidentally, because I was like bored. You can donate to the church, and once you donate a certain amount, you will hear a special sound, and the church will change, like it will get upgraded. So that means like more pictures, more chairs, people will start showing up at churches, and people will be like healthier, and the town will be more happier. And as as a reward for that, your shrines that you use as a checkpoint will upgrade. The first upgrade will give you full mana and health every time you use it, and of course as potions. And the second upgrade is that it allows you to teleport to other shrines, which is pretty useful, not gonna lie. Especially when I found out about that later in the game when I finished the first one, like had 100%. But yeah, I recommend the donate to the church in Blasphemous, not in real life, because let's face it, we know that the church is really rich. And I not talk about it. Next subject. Please don't demonetize me, thank you. And after you donate a certain amount, you're not allowed to donate anymore because hey, why would you donate? But I think it donated 100,000 something tiers. Yes, tiers are the currency, and it's really cool. I don't know why, but I like the system. And once you donate the max limit of money you can give to the church, you unlock that like skin that's like for the church. I think it's called like, I forgot which one I got, but yeah, because I didn't know how to access the skin at first, but later I found out that you can access the skin and edit like background of the menu and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. Fun fact, I had this game in my library for a year or something and I didn't even play it. And I'm really ashamed of myself because I didn't play it. Because look at this game, it's beautiful. I love pixel art, I always loved it. I played like Castlevania 2, Super Castlevania 4. I played some Castlevania games that were ported to PC like from early 2000s because I had it on a CD. I played all those kind of games. I played one game that was really funny to me. It was called Boogerman. And I think I'll find some like footage or image to show you because it's really old. And it's about a guy that uses boogers as a projectile. He can fart, he can use poop as well, and that was really funny. And all your checkpoints were like toilets. That I found really funny because yeah, I'm a child and I was like what 7 or 8 years old, and ha farts and poop are funny. Probably is gonna laugh still after that. Okay, let's talk about the bosses. The bosses are pretty cool. I mean, by design, they look amazing. The introduction is also amazing. I really love the bosses. Some of them are easy, I mean simple. Some of them are kind of hard. And without counting the DLC, the main game, the hardest for me was a boss before the last boss. She's a knight and she can parry a lot. And she's just like you. I mean, copy of you. She's more like a player than an actual boss, and she's pretty annoying because she can, as I said before, she can parry a lot of your attacks, and you cannot do a full combos with her. You just have to hit her, and the moment you want to do a combo, you have to stop because she's gonna parry you and hit you even harder than you. And she can also like jump around, dash, like all those kind of weird shenanigans and do like an AoE and so on. And you have to figure out how to defeat her. Sometimes she can go in a long sequence of charging and you cannot hit her because when she charges, she is like untargetable. I mean, you can still hit her, but you'll take a lot of damage and you just prefer to parry or to dodge the attack. The last boss, I think it took 2 tries. I mean, a second try I defeated because in the first one I didn't have enough mana and I died, so when I respawned I used my spirit. And yes, I forgot about this, that when you die you lose, you get like you get guilt, and guilt like eats your maximum mana and you have to find it, and everything you earn is like degraded because you're, let's say you died and you have guilt and you have to find a prayer to release the gift or find the soul you just the soul where you died and collect the soul to release the gift. So I try not to die. Get good. And yeah, the final boss was pretty easy and I got. And like I don't know, the ending was pretty cool. I was eaten by a sand of ashes, and the messenger guy took my helmet and said, "Yeah, you're not worthy of the god." And yeah, I will never ascend to the god because the whole thing of this is you have to ascend to the miracle, and at the start he sees like the miracle, and yes, you have to be like Ricardo. I have to, and he's waiting me, and every time I get in this room after defeating the boss, he offers my hand. I can see him glowing there, but I'm not worthy enough to reach him. I have to be worthy for Ricardo. During your first run, you're able to find the first DLC, the sexy blue lady with roses. I will have to put the name in the video because I forgot, but yeah, she's hot. You can see she's hot. They haven't shown her full body, just her thighs. Her thighs are thick. Anyways, her whole quest is that she needs to get her back home, and she needs to use a mirror. In order to fill her mirror, you have to complete some parkour time challenges. And honestly, when you give the first one, which is pretty easy, it's a pure bait because the last two are hard, and by hard I mean insanely hard. You know why? Because in the first one, I didn't know how to do lamp jumps. I didn't know they were a thing, and most of the time I was struggling, and all the jumps I did without lamp jump. I did like a shift jump. I mean dash jump, and you have to do it pixel perfectly because if you dash before the edge, you will just fall off and die, and you have no momentum for a jump. And I did that, and I made it, and I was angry. And on my second run, I did the lamp jump. The lamp jumps, even though you did it as well, they're clunky and the hitboxes are annoying. And someone will say, "Oh, almighty pig, you don't know how to do lamp jumps, they're pretty easy." I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Okay, let's move on. And yeah, when you finish that, she goes in the mirror and when you finish all that, she gets in the mirror back to her hometown and gives you an ability that allows you to summon a little mirror, and from that mirror she comes out and deals psychic damage. Never use that ability, I don't know why, it doesn't seem useful in most cases. I need it. But yeah. And for the record, all the abilities you're gonna use are pretty much useless except this one. This one is pretty amazing because it gives you a lot of survivability and allows you to be invincible for a few seconds, and that's what you need in a boss fight, especially in some tight situation. Yeah. And I found a way to get a good ending. You just need to destroy the statues you have to pray for. And I had to read, and when you get the corrupted crown, and once you get up at the chair where Ricardo is, you have to stab yourself and you become some kind of idol that people worship you, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to spoil it how you had to get it, you have to be challenged, but come on, the game is out for a year or something, and that ending is like not new. The DLCs, and once you finish the first run, you get a chance to ascend, and when you ascend you go on a higher difficulty, same run, but the DLC is open. And by the DLC I mean this freaky guy with long arms and a trumpet around his arm. When he's released, you can find him in many rooms and areas, actually 4 areas, and he will sing. And when you talk to him, he will sing, and boy, when he sings, I love that song. I'm just gonna play it for you, listen here. Just love this music he plays, it's so memorizing. And yeah, when he opens the 4 chambers you can use to fight 4 special bosses, and when you defeat all 4 bosses the faith phone awakens and you can go up the tree you're seeing all the time. And when you get up to the tree, you fight the fifth boss, and the fifth boss is a combination of all the 4 bosses you fight. And it's time for an epic battle montage. After defeating that final boss, I felt like the perfect Chad, and that my throne next to Ricardo is deserved. So I decided to complete everything. I finished everything to 100%, and apparently you can go over 100%. And guess what? I defeated the final boss. And there's fucking more. You know what? I can ascend again. This game, I can't leave it. You're not done. I can ascend.